Okay. Any nigga talking shit getting plastered. There's no limit who get hit with the P. I feel like master. Ask you to say hello to my little friend Casper. Cause when I catch you, we with him up natural disaster.
Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Lou.
Yeah, good morning in that, though. And two, and also.
Yeah, so I live in Mobile, Alabama. I'm like the only LSU fan around here. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm hated by my own family.
Damn.
So I got an Alabama fan sitting beside me. Is there any advice you'd like to say?
Well, any advice for the Alabama man? Don't beat your sister wife this year every time you lose a game because it's going to happen. Leave her alone. Yeah, leave her alone.
I like that. So yeah, I didn't. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't watch the LSU spring game. I'm guessing it's the Jaden Daniels show.
I didn't watch the LSU spring game either. I read reports on it, but that's not the same as watch. I can't. A lot of these spring games weren't on TV. You can go back and find most of them on YouTube. Right. The majority of them on YouTube. But no, I did not watch all of the LSU spring game. No.
Okay. Just saying, it is the Jaden Daniels show. Would you? What do you think about that? I know you weren't a Jaden Daniels fan last year, and you said Garrett Nussmeier can throw better, obviously.
Well, I think everybody. I don't think there's anybody that would argue that point. Garrett Nussmeier is clearly a better passer than Jaden Daniels, but in today's college football, if you've got an athletic, mobile quarterback that can run around and complete passes, that's ideal. So yeah. I do think Jaden Daniels needs to get better throwing the ball if LSU wants to go further this year than they went last year.
Right.
He's got to complete his passes at a higher percentage. He's going to have to work on his timing and look, I love to watch quarterbacks run around, but one of the things you have to sort of tamp down with some of these running quarterbacks, sometimes they run more than they should. A lot of times you can scramble and make a play out of the pocket, or you can step up into the pocket and wait for a receiver to come open or something like that. But some of these run-around quarterbacks, they take off running a little bit too early. I'd actually like to see Jaden Daniels run a little less often this year than he did last year, maybe stay in the pocket a little longer. And if LSU's offensive line is a little bit better, then, of course, that'll be easier to do. But if he gets better at throwing the ball, LSU is going to be a dangerous team regardless. I mean, they got to the SEC title game last year with last year's Jaden Daniels. If he's better this year than he was last year, then LSU is going to be better as a team this year than they were last year because, you got NFL wide receivers. I already talked about Mason Smith on the defensive line. And what's that linebacker's name? Something Perkins, is that his name?
Harold Perkins.
Harold Perkins. He's probably the best linebacker in the country. I mean, if you're an offensive coordinator and you're playing LSU, he's the first person you're pointing out in team meetings on Monday is, we have to know where this guy is on every single play because he can rush the passer. He can drop back in coverage. He's good against the run. I mean, he's got no weaknesses. He's fast. He can play sideline to sideline. He would start on any team in the country, period. Georgia's absolutely loaded at linebacker. He would start at Georgia. He's that good.
All right. I like to hear that. So I hear the Slob Olympics coming to Florida next year. I'm going to try to make it this year, Lou.
Yeah, I hope you can. We're going to have a good time. Slob Olympics next year, Panama City Beach the first weekend in March. We're going to have a great time.
That ain't far from Mobile. I'll try to make it.
Yeah, hope to see you there.
All right, thank you. All right, buddy. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for coming on. It's good to hear from you. Shout out again to everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate that. Make sure you hit the thumbs up if you hadn't already. That's a big help. 105 thumbs up. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's get to a couple of these super chats here that have come in. I really appreciate those